And foremost, I just want to give a big shout out to Antonio Neal again. I found the original video and whatnot, and I could just work with it, but I gotta give a shout out to this guy. He's a good man, and I'll definitely promote his channel on this. This is how I started coming across some of these stories, and you do a great job here, Antonio. I love the video. I love the awareness you share with people if you ever get a chance to see this. But one thing, the reason why I'm just making a response to this is because there's kind of another context to this whole situation here. Human trafficking is a real thing. Sadly, in today's world, you should never take a flyer or a flower or anything from somebody in a public place, especially if you're alone, because that's when you're the most vulnerable. If you're all drugged up, someone will just come and take you away, and people just assume that they're with you. But I don't believe that this is actually a case of human trafficking. This girl here, miss, I believe that you're being stalked, and I'll tell you why. But we'll get into the video here, and I'll break it down.
Live in NYC or New York area, please tell me if this has happened to you. I was at Central Park the other day, and I was just lying on the ground sunbathing. And all of a sudden, I thought I was going crazy, but I saw this woman start to approach me, and she was videoing me. And I was like, is she videoing me, or is she videoing Central Park? Like, I'm confused, And so I kind of sit up, and I'm like, is this girl videoing me? And she approaches me, and she's like, oh my God, like, are you a model? Like, you're gorgeous, like, you're stunning. And I'm like, oh, thank you, I'm not a model. And she's like, how tall are you? Like, you should sign with my agency. Mind you, like, not to be mean, but like, this woman looks a little unkept, like a little homeless, kind of. She had this big Doberman dog too with her. And she was asking me all these questions about me, what I do, how old I am, where I'm from. Very quickly, they started to get really personal. It escalated so fast that it got to a point that she was asking me really personal questions like who I date, do I date men or women, how old of a guy I would date. So weird. And
see, right then and there, when she started with the rapid fire questions like that, she's just getting intel. She's just there to try, and she's a shield, most likely for your stalker. And I know a little bit about this. So like I said, I've shared with people before a long time ago, well, a while back now. I worked for a security company, and we were contracted out to help different people. And one scenario where we would be contracted out, the very odd time, would actually be to just be back up and help out a PI. And it was usually a pretty serious situation because the PAI would have to actually pay for it out of his own pocket, so he was probably getting paid some pretty big bucks to be able to afford security. Besides that, right? We were basically just a six in the bush, keeping an eye on his back, right? And one thing I'll tell you about PIs is I don't like them. I never met one that I liked. They are the creepiest, but most dangerous guys you could ever come across. They think in micros, while most people think in macros. And that's why they're so deadly against powerful people up to no good. Like, they know how to tear down someone's life. They will go through people's trash illegally to find just anything, and it's unbelievable what they know. But they taught me some skills. Well, the one guy kind of did, and I did not like this guy, but he was my partner. I worked with him. Well, I shouldn't say partner, but I worked with him, and he was pretty wise. And one thing he came across a lot was stalker situations, whether, I won't say too much, but whether a woman's husband was actually stalking someone, or if someone was afraid they were being stalked. And the odd time, sometimes he would investigate into someone's life and find out that there was a stalker. It's crazy what they come across. But what's really interesting is what's happening here is your stalker, if that's the case, like I said, I am not a professional. This is for entertainment purposes only. But he's using the homeless woman as a proxy. And the reason why I say this too is because it's very, very common for them to do that. They find the vulnerable, and they pay them a small amount of money basically to just get intel on someone. There's a good chance that your stalker, you had a predictable schedule. If you're sunbathing in Central Park, he might have came across you. If he's wealthy, he might have a view on the Central Park. I'm pretty sure there's not a single apartment building around New York that is under, 4 digits. with a view for Central, but that's my kind of take on this, and I'm just gonna give you some tips if that's the case. But yeah, we'll finish up the video here.
I was kind of just like, like I was kind of like in shock. Like, I'm not answering that. First of all, like I don't even know you. She also started asking me like what I'm doing after this, where I'm from, where I live, where I'm going. She asked us to have dinner with me that same day, and I was just like, oh, I'm busy, I'm sorry. And it was just giving me like really weird vibes. Like I felt in my gut and my intuition that this woman was weird and she had bad intentions. And mind you, she talked to me for probably like 15 minutes. You know, I was just trying to enjoy myself. She would not leave me alone. It was really hard to get her off me because I'm definitely the type of person that doesn't want to be mean or rude because you never know how people might react, especially in New York. But honestly, it was all really giving like human trafficking vibes, especially because she was asking questions about my dating life, about men. It makes no sense, you know? She had no real agency of modeling. When I asked her for like the name, she could not name it. She was asking me where I'm going after this, you know, what time I'm going home, who's
See, human traffickers, in my guess, would be a lot more organized. They would actually have like a fake modeling agency made up. They would probably invite you to a controlled room or whatnot. But she was very unorganized. She was just there to get intel. She was just a proxy for intel. That's my guess. Like I said, I'm not a professional, and this is just for entertainment purposes only. Please seek the help of a professional if you feel like you need to delve deeper into these situations, regardless of who you are. But another thing I was just gonna say with the Doberman and everything, yeah, if she's a homeless lady, which like a lot of people that dress rougher and whatnot, they do have dogs, but that's a pretty big red flag too. Like my guess is that yes, if you do have a stalker, he obviously even has communicated with this woman, got the Doberman used to her, and that's the her protection going through the park and whatnot. He really wants to make sure that this is cut and clear to go, you know. That's kind of a terrifying prospect. But yeah, I don't know if the human trafficking thing is a thing. You know, Antonio gives some really great advice later on in the video. I could play it, but I'm just gonna, like I said, this is more of a reaction just with my thoughts. He says, you know, videotape the person back. That's a really good idea. And memorize the person. If you see them again, it's pretty obvious. But I'm gonna give you a really solid trick too. He he also says, you know, don't be afraid to be rude back to somebody. If if they're in your space, just say, listen, I'm enjoying my day, but have a great one, you know. And make it, don't be, it's good to be polite to people. I'm from Canada and I try to be nice and polite to everyone. But when they start pushing past your boundaries, you need to stand up for yourself. It's very important to do that. Do never be afraid of someone's reaction, as long as you know they're not completely, you know, hanging bats and stuff. And what I mean by that is like, there's that it's just a saying. If they're upside down hanging bats, you know, they're completely out of their minds, kind of thing. But yeah, you got to be stern with people. Don't ever be afraid to be stern.
picking me up. It was just really, really weird. Like, I did not answer these questions because I didn't feel comfortable, but I'm just wondering if this has happened to any other girls because it really gave the vibe that I was like someone was trying to pull me into some weird human trafficking ring or something. Um, so yeah, please let me know if this has happened to any of you other girls. I also forgot to add this, but she just kept taking the videos and photos and wasn't really asking for my permission. She did not send me any of the videos or the photos, so I'm
See, with human traffickers too, usually if they have an eye on you, they have an eye on you. They're not going to keep taking videos and photos and such. They're probably happy with one. My guess would be that, you know, and they work with that or something. It's obviously I have no idea how that works, but I just don't see people with that kind of intention really hyper fixating or obsessing over that. What's happening there is obviously a stalker doesn't want to, like I said, the proxy thing. He doesn't want to be upfront and personal, exposing himself. So he has the homeless woman doing it for him, and he's paying her a little wage for doing it. But this is something the PI told me that I'll share in a second here, and it is a dirty, dirty trick. if you ever want to flip the script on a stalker, if you ever feel like you are being stalked, and they use a proxy.
Not sure where they're going, but either way, it just seemed honestly really unprofessional, and a real scouter for a modeling agency just wouldn't do that and invade your privacy like that. I'm sure of it. So please do not be fooled by these people. Be safe out there, ladies. You never know people's intentions, especially in a big city. Anyways, love you, bye.
So that's a good lesson. That's a good video. And thanks again, Antonio O'Neill, for providing this. One thing I'm just gonna say, so yeah, you know, there's some red flags there. Obviously something's up. But keep your six, girl. You know, you better keep an eye on other people. If you ever see anybody else recording you, this is the little drop I'm gonna share with people here. So if someone's taking advantage of the vulnerable and they've hired a proxy like a homeless person or a drug addict to videotape you, communicate with you and whatnot, what you can do is you have to remember that they're probably paying this person a little bit of money. This person doesn't want to get too involved in the law, but not only that, but they're doing it because they're vulnerable. They're not going out of their way to hire a PI or anything else. They're quick and desperate. They don't care. And that means that that proxy has no loyalty to them. What you can do is you can flip the proxy. When you see them, you can get intel right back. Just approach them and say, listen, because like I said, never take flyers, roses, flowers from anybody in public. These days, it's not worth it. You don't know if it's laced with fentanyl and whatnot. Don't ever touch something. That's what human traffickers do. They try to drug you first and then drag you and take you away. And they prey on people that are alone usually, because if a person starts looking drugged, then their buddies can come in and take them away, right? Anyways, but with this situation, with the homeless woman, what you do is if you see her again, you don't be afraid to be rude, but be polite, but say, listen, I'll give you $40 if you tell me who hired you and where he is right now. If he's watching, go and tell him to come and talk to me right now, but only do it if it's in a public, safe place. And you don't need to make a scene. But with a lot of stalkers and predators, believe it or not, with behind it, I am not a professional. Please seek the help of one regarding the situation if you have any further curiosities regarding the situation. But with some of them, the thrill of the hunt is the biggest part for them. As soon as that's destroyed, the high is over. Now, never underestimate them. They're still dangerous. But confronting your stalker and just saying, look, you need to leave me alone. That's it. You'd be surprised as to how many will move on and find a different target. Obviously, report them and try to get a video if you can. They're sick people that need help. But that's one tactic. But yeah, you know, as soon as you flip that proxy, there's a lot of options. Obviously, you can, like I said, have the person give you some information on them, and you could even delve even deeper to where this person starts playing a double agent, and you find out where they live, and or where their next meeting spot is, etc. And the police can go there and have a chat with them and such, right? So those are just some options. But in my point of view, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily human trafficking here. I think someone's just stalking her, and she definitely has someone stuck there. So I wish her the best. I don't know if she'll ever see this video and whatnot, but stay safe out there. And thanks again to Antonio O'Neill for providing the footage here. Stay safe.